I was talking to Jennifer about the interview that you had, that it was totally different from what we talked about in class.
Yes.
And so I was wondering if you would describe, could you just take us through your virtual interview that you had on Monday?
Yes. So do you want me to start just from the interview or since the beginning? Because
from the beginning, please. Thank you.
Yes, good.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Well, the first step was my appointment. It was at 12:30, and I was kind of like nervous, and I said, no, I want to be way before, because in the letter it says 15 minutes before the appointment, and I got there like 12. So, and there was a big line just to enter, just in the first door.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's the whole process to check. They check your belongings. You have to take your shoes off, go through the machine, all those steps, and that takes time. So after I was done of that, so I just walked to my left, and I saw a big sign saying immigration, and I said, oh, so I mean, somebody might be able to help me. So I just walked in, and it was this person, and said, oh, do you have an appointment? And I said, yes, I have an interview. So he checked my letter, and it's okay, you need to make a line in the next door. And I said, okay. So I think that was the longest time waiting online to check in. So it was about like 25 minutes waiting there.
25 minutes?
Yes, I was.
How many people?
And there were just 3 people waiting. But
wow.
Was just one person helping.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was taking very, very long with each person. So, and I was like, oh my God, so this is just a check-in. I'm going to be late for the interview. So that was my concern. And well, once it was my turn, so he was kind of like slow. He was like, first just take my letter, and then he didn't say anything, and I was just waiting. So after like 5 minutes, he said like, okay, your name is this, your day of birthday, your address, and blah, blah. I said, yes, everything is correct. And he said, okay, now remove your mask, because stand in front of the camera. They have a little camera right there. So, and I just stand there, and he took a picture. And something that it got my attention is that they have a thermometer right there by the window, but it's like in a little stand.
Mm-hmm.
And the person just stands in front of the thermometer, and he takes the temperature. But he didn't ask me. I noticed because the person that was in front of me, she did it, but not me. And I said, well, he didn't ask me, so I just walk away. So he just
1 minute, please. Did they take your temperature on your forehead, or they did not?
For me, they did not.
Interesting.
It was for the person that it was in front of me. He asked her. It was a lady, and she just stand in front of the thermometer, took the temperature, and then it was done. And I was expecting that, but it didn't happen. So, and I didn't say anything. So I think he was kind of like maybe distracted. And yeah. So he just wrote the floor and room number that I have to go for my interview. Say, okay, everything is right. This is the floor number and the room. So just go ahead. And I said, okay, thank you. And I just left.
Did you have to wait in line for the elevator?
No. No,
Okay.
no, it was okay. It was empty.
Okay, so you're in the Los Angeles Federal Building, which has many floors. Same with San Francisco. San Jose, one floor. So
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
No, this is I don't know how many floors, but I went to the 8th floor.
hmm
So
Jennifer, it's interesting. Most of the time, it's on the 8th floor, the citizenship interviews. But over the time that I've taught, it could be on the 6th floor, on the 4th floor, on the 2nd floor, in the basement. So I've taught my students they have to look at whatever's on their letter, because it could be in any one of those floors, in any room there. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
yes, and well, I went to the 8th floor, and I had my letter in my hand, looking for the number of the room. So, and it was, I guess, a guard or an official in the hall. And I mean, they know already, so they were looking, we're kind of lost. And he said, did you have an appointment? And I said, yes, I have an appointment for my interview. And he said, okay, that's the room. So just walk there and have a seat. And I said, okay. And I just got into the room. There were like 2 people ahead of me. And I said, okay, they said, it's going to be fast because it's just 3 people. And when the person came in, it was not the official. It was like the assistant or secretary. And she called a person, but it was not there, apparently. Then she called my name. And I said, okay, it's me. And he said, oh, show me your ID, show me your green card. And I show it to her. So she checked and she said, okay, follow me. So we're going to go to the next room.
Excuse me, please. So you went to a waiting room and now you're going to a next room. Okay, great.
Room. Yeah.
Okay.
There was first room, like waiting room, and then the next room. I just follow her. And then the room, it was a huge room, kind of empty.
Maybe a conference room?
There were like several desks, but they were empty.
Mm-hmm.
And really, you don't pay too much attention. But something that I noticed, I mean, and probably I didn't mention this before, when I walk into the second room, supposedly for the interview, it was a big sign that it says virtual interview. But I didn't
Virtual interviews as the sign.
Okay.
Interesting.
interview, but I didn't get that part. It was just like, I said, virtual, well, okay. I was more like paying attention to the person, to my person that was guiding me. And I said, well, but then then she said, okay, so you're gonna have a seat in that desk that was like next to the wall, next to the window. And I said, and she said, you're gonna put the headphones on. And I'm like, okay. Then I look at the screening. It was smaller than a laptop. It was like tablet, I assume it. And I said, oh, okay. So she just left my green card and my ID on the desk. And there were like 2 or 3 papers on the desk too, next to the screening. And I said, well, and I see someone that it was like typing or writing. And well, as soon as I put the heads on, she said, hello, how are you? And I was like, oh, hi, I'm fine.
So nobody told you that you're going for a virtual interview. They expect you to read the sign. And okay, so nobody explained it to you. Okay, very interesting.
No.
And the headphone is like, are the headphones clean? So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? Now that you mention it, I thought about it. I said, but I mean, you're
thinking about other things. Yeah.
You just follow instructions.
Yeah, sure.
So whatever they say, that's what I follow.
Exactly. Always good advice.
Yes. And well, I just put the hands up And the person, the lady says, okay, you need help, so let me know. So I'm going to be by the door, there is a desk by the door. And I said, okay. So, and then when I say hi to this person, to the officer, this was the officer. Her name was Leo. I think that's the last name, Leo. She's like, okay, how you doing? And I'm saying, okay, I'm doing fine, thank you. And they said, well, let's see how this works. They say, I'm new to this, so I'm not very good in this technology things. And I said, oh, I am the same way. I always have to call someone, my sons or someone, to help me. And she says, yes, let's try it. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
So she's talking to you on the iPad. She's not in the room with you. She's on the iPad. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you have any idea, was she in an office, or do you have any idea where she was?
It looked like it was a home, a house, because I saw in the back, I saw like shelves with a plant in the top. It was nice. So it looks like home.
Okay, that's great. I'm glad they lived in a nice place.
So I don't know if it was a home or not, but for me, it looks like home.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So then, and then she said, okay, if we have problems or you have problems, hearing or something, so please let the person that is, in the room know, so she can come and help you. And I said, okay, yes, I will. Don't worry. So I will. And then after that, so they said, well, so now, so let's start. So
wow.
Yeah, so she was very nice person, very nice lady. She was kind of smiling all the time. So, and that makes me feel more comfortable, So, then
did you start with the oath?
Yeah. So when she said, okay, let's start, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. So she started with the oath. And then, all the oath, and then said,
but
okay.
did she ask you to stand up?
No, she just said, please write your right hands. And I said, okay, but I just was like this, and I'm like, she didn't say stand up or anything.
Yeah, because you would be, if you stood up, you're looking at somebody's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay.
You're looking at somebody's COVID-19.
Exactly. And so I did it. I was sitting, and I did it in that way. So she didn't say something different, and I just did it.
Wow.
So, and then the interesting thing too was like,
she asked to see your documents, right? Did she ask? I think that was the other thing that she did.
My ID, my green card, and she said, okay, put them together, hold them together. I put them together like this, and with my finger, I did in front of the camera, so she can see it. I think that she took picture of that and uploaded in my file.
Right.
That's what I assume, and that she did.
Right.
And then for the oath too, when I signed the oath, she said, there is a paper right there. Look for the oath, sign it, and date it, and then put it in front of the camera. So that's what I did. I signed the paper, and then I put it in front of the camera.
Interesting. How about the part with the N400? Were any of the questions unusual or surprising to you?
No, the questions, they were fine. I mean, she asked me a lot of questions. That was the longest. So because the civic question, she started first with the civic questions.
Right.
So and that was like all the questions that we are studying. So they were just like 5 or 6, and I answered right away. So there was no problem. I think for me were the easiest one. And after that, she started with the application. And well, just, your name, your address, all that, how many trips. And I did an extra trip, after I sent the application.
Right.
I wrote it down and I have it on a piece of paper and I show it to her and the camera. And she was happy. She said, "Oh, great. So you wrote it down. This is fantastic." So he just—
Thank you. Thank you, teacher Patricia. Yes.
No, but what we were doing was preparing for the plastic wall, and it turns out it's for the tablet like that too. So
Good.
Yeah. So, I wrote it down. I put it in the camera and then she just, I don't know, she took a picture or she just wrote it down. She updated the application because after that, she showed me the application where she put all the new information.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. How about, did you describe how you did your dictation?
The dictation, it was a simple sentence. It was something like
But was it on the tablet or was it on paper?
No. Okay. So there are two parts. The first, it was the reading part. So she put the sentence on the screen and I read the sentence. That was fine. Then the writing part, she dictated me a sentence. I wrote it down. There was a piece of paper in the desk and it says, it has something. It was printed already, but it has a line for the question number 1. So she said, write it in the number 1. And I said, okay. So she said the sentence, I write it down. And then she said, show me the paper. So I showed her the paper in the camera. And I guess she took a picture of that too. And so that was the way she did it.
Okay. So this is very interesting. I understand that after you're done with the interview, you took your papers with you outside, or did you take the papers home? Did you have to hand in those papers? What did you do?
Papers? No. My ID and my green card, I took it with me.
Right, of course.
The other papers that I signed, so they stay in the desk.
Okay.
The person that was in the room, she came and picked them up.
Okay. Now I understand they also asked you, even though you took a picture downstairs.
That's the interesting thing, Delia, is right now you told us that when you checked in, that they took your picture. Is that right? That's what you said.
Yeah, that was
right?
the check-in. That was the first step. So I thought they're going to use that picture for something, but no. So when I finished with the officer, so that she said, okay, so everything is done. So you're passed, congratulations. So, and then she asked me, said, do you have 2 photos, passport size photos with you? And I said, no.
You know what I think is going on with here? The photos that they took were for verification that it's actually you coming in.
The person indicated,
but the passport photos they needed because they embedded in your citizenship paper. So that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes. And then she said, okay, don't worry. So across the street, there is a CVS, so you can go take your pictures and bring them back today. So if you want to do it today, you can do it any other time. And I said, no, I'm going to do it today. So because I'm here already. So that's what I did.
Tell Jennifer, the issue there is that when you went over to take the pictures and then you had to stand in line again. Right? To be able security line. Yeah.
So you have to stand in the line again.
To get inside the building.
To get inside the building. So, and I went straight to the 8th floor again. So
okay,
that was it.
How many minutes do you think was your interview? Do you remember?
It was kind of long. I think it was like 25 to 30 minutes. It was long.
Then you had to make this trip across the street to the CVS. Is that right?
Yeah.
How long do you think you were immigration total? You had to check in, where they took your picture,
12,
went
maybe,
upstate.
maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe
Because
2
the
hours.
going across the street and then going back again
Yeah.
into the security line.
About
Yeah.
2 hours and a half, I should say.
That's a long time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they also, how about, I understand you've already received a letter inviting you to your oath ceremony. Or did they give you the oath
No.
ceremony invitation, or
No.
did they mail it to you?
No, they just gave me a print that it says that I passed the test.
Mhm.
So they didn't give me the letter with the date for the ceremony. So she said that I'm going to get it in the mail. And I already went into my UC's account, and they say that they sent it on the 23rd, but I haven't received it yet.
Does it say when the ceremony? Does it
No.
say in there what when the ceremony is?
No, just said that the letter was mailed.
Yeah.
And have you received it yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it's only the 25th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I think that's one of the really real advantages of USCIS is that they're really trying to update their letting people know what's happening in the process.
Mhm.
And yesterday I had to do a long survey for USCIS about their website. And I said, they said, what do you want? What one thing do you want for our citizenship website? I said, I want more materials, especially about N400 education. However, where the best thing is where you need to put your focus is getting more tools to let people know where they are in the process of immigration. So what's happening, where's the dates, what desk is it on, and everything like that. And the more information that they can give people so they can calm down and they know that their case is being taken care of and not lost somewhere in the bureaucracy, the better it is.
About is having more transparent, having more feedback. No?
Yeah. So I know it used to be with the I haven't seen one of the interview one of the applications a long time, but they used to have barcodes on them so they could scan that stuff in.
But they don't do that anymore. The barcodes are gone.
Yeah.
So maybe so I think USCIS is looking for constant improvement. And so that is one thing they're going to look for. I really appreciate that you shared this experience with us, because we had a recent interviews in San Jose. It's basically the students were in the same room with the USCIS officer with the plexiglass between them. And so they were doing the interviews that way. They did their dictation on the iPad. So I think USCIS is still trying to find the best way and the quickest way to process the people who are coming through. Sounds like, they're really trying really as hard as they can to make these things happen.
Yeah,
so,
well,
but
our students are not waiting very long. Delia, when did you send your application?
I sent it in September 26th.
Yeah. So that's really quick. That's a 6-month period.
We're still waiting. We're still getting things processed from February and March of 2020.
Yeah.
So,
but I think LA is moving fast. I looked at how many people I have in the new year. I had 4 already in March, and I had a couple in February, a couple already. I mean, it's fast for me. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think the whole question about the 128 questions, now that has been resolved,
decided,
that's been really helpful. Can you imagine having to sit through 20 questions as they're asking you those 128 questions? Wow, that would have been really difficult.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, now with the virtual interview, so the officer had the mask on, and I had my mask on. And so in the beginning, when I kind of like think about it very fast, I'm like, and I'm going to be able to understand, or she's going to hear me, or, and maybe, I don't know, she didn't say take your mask off or something. So I stay with my mask.
Yeah.
And she had the mask too. So
Delia, I have a question for you. You know, in class, we prepare and we also hear. Every student comes back and talks about what happened. So your interview is totally different from any person that's come to class and talked about it. So I want to know, how did you feel when we prepare you for something and then what happened to you is totally different from what we talked about in class? How did you deal with that? It's like, wow.
Yeah, that was like, I was surprised, but because I was kind of nervous, I didn't have time to think about it. I was just following instructions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, sit over there. Put
That's
your
the
hat
best
on.
way.
And I was like, oh, okay. So everything was like new surprise for me. So it was like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Totally
This is
amazing.
not the time to ask questions. Hey, I heard that we're supposed to do it this way.
No, there is no
Just
time.
follow the directions.
Yeah, just follow directions. And I'm like, okay.
But Jennifer, it's really disconcerting. I mean, that's the whole point of why in class we try and prepare a student for what's coming. That you wait, you stand up, you stay standing until they give you the oath, you sit down, you put your things where they tell you to put your things. You know, you're ready to pull out the documents that they ask you for, the green card or the passport.
Did they ask you to show any other documents such as taxes or marriage or anything like that?
No. I have my passports. I have other documents. They didn't ask me because I guess for the same reason. Maybe just the main documents like the green card and the ID. That's it.
So now that you're going to become a new citizen, probably, in the next couple of days, what's your next goal? What are you going to do after this?
Well, I'm working.
Trial? Yeah, I know.
I'm working. I've been working for a long time. Maybe I'm gonna be retired pretty soon. So, and then
are you going to travel? Yeah, I don't know. Is your family here or where's your family?
My family is here. All my family is here. Yeah. But still, I like to travel.
Oh, so where do you travel to?
She had that extra trip. Yeah, she likes to travel.
I love to travel. I want to go to Spain. I want to know Spain. And so, but I'm just waiting for this, uncertain time to let us do our life better.
Back to normal, yeah.
Back to normal. So
yeah,
let's see.
So thank you again for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you, Delia. Thank you.
Really, people will really, really appreciate this.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Anyway, good night. Sweet dreams, and bless you on
Thank you.
I know you will be a great American citizen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
thank you
good night to your tech support too.
Yeah. Thank you to Antonio, to your son.
Oh, thank you. Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
weekend.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night, Delia.
Good night.
This is my son.
Hey,
hi.
Are you Antonio?
Yes, I'm Antonio.
Antonio, you're wonderful. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you, Mr. Tech Support. We appreciate you.
All right.